heading out to the Formula One track. Got the new Powerslide Phoenix wheels on. I think Rollerblader makes them. I'm not 100% sure on that. Fairly certain. Heard good things. They already feel pretty fast. Pretty fun, so I'm gonna take them out. Obviously, shorts and a t-shirt, selfie stick. So I'm not going out for any speed records, but I can still do pretty good. I feel like I can still skate up to 33, 34, possibly with these conditions. With good equipment, we'll see. But I feel like with a decent tailwind, maybe a slight downhill, I can probably hold above 30. And against cyclists, that's usually enough. If they're not really trying to kill me, they don't get really pissed off, or if they're not exceptionally good. Most people on the bike are obviously weekend warriors, but every now and then you get a pro. It's pretty nice with the lights here because everything's on timers, nothing's on sensors. So if you catch the right flow on the right street, you can really sail across town pretty quick without it being too obnoxious. And cars can't turn right on red here on the island in Montreal. That's nice. So there's a couple rules of driving that make skating safer, in my opinion. I've got a lot of questions about how I stop or how I would stop quickly if I needed to. And usually the answer is I try not to. As I'm skating, I'm looking up the road, looking at the intersection. If you look at the stop sign here, you can see almost every stop sign or light will tell you kind of the direction. You can see there was 4 stop signs all the way around. That means it's a 4-way stop. Traffic goes both ways. Those signs will tell you one road's a one-way, for example, and then you can anticipate traffic coming certain directions, kind of have a contingency plan for where you're gonna bail if somebody's not paying attention or if the light doesn't change in your favor, for example. Usually 4-ways are probably the safest, or green light, obviously, but outside of green lights, you're coming up to a red light, you're not sure if it's gonna change immediately or whatever, or you can't see traffic. Usually the 4-way stop with the stop signs is a bit better because people are looking for pedestrians here. It's a very pedestrian-friendly, cyclist-friendly city with the bike paths. Seems like people in cars are always looking for that kind of traffic first before they make any moves. So that's nice. People are a little bit more aware, despite the driving always might not always be the best in terms of being able to be quick to react to situations. But in my opinion, I like when people are just slow and predictable in that regard. The less aggressive the driving, the safer it is for me. If I can pretty much assume that cars are going to take a certain path, certain speed. Obviously, you can't predict everything, but with a certain degree of accuracy, it makes it a little bit safer. These wheels are so much better on this crappy road. So right now I'm skating on a really rough road, and I can already feel, because the wheel has a nice soft band in it, it's a high rebound wheel, it's eating up those vibrations a lot better than the Avengers I had on, which I actually like for this kind of skating. I put the Avengers on my urban skates, and had a good time. I did bend one of the hubs yesterday. I thought it was gonna be awesome because they're metal hubs, aluminum hubs, so pretty much bulletproof, but because they're aluminum, I think they make them a little less beefy than they probably could. Save weight, save money, and yeah, so I ran into some concrete steps trying to slow down, and it totally just ruined the wheel. It's like bent now, wobbles. Kind of has like an up and down wobble to it, like a bike wheel would if you ran into something, for example. So probably not fixable, but yeah, have been enjoying skating on those. I was on the NSC wheels for a long time, just messing around. They were fun, they're good for training. They're mushy, they're work wheels for sure, but getting on race wheels again, like the Avengers are a marathon wheel as far as I know. Now the Phoenix, you can start feeling some of my ability to get into the hips again and create easy speed with just the hips. So if I'm coming up to a light and it just changed, I try to do something like this and then find a sidewalk I can bail off on. Usually that scrubs a bit of speed, but if you don't know, if you're very, very new to skating, anytime your skate is traveling towards your center line, it's probably slowing you down. And when it's traveling away from your center line, it's speeding you up. So right now, my center line is here, I'm heading this direction. My skates are open and they're traveling away from that line. I'm accelerating. If I do this and point my foot in towards my center line, kind of like pizza French fries concept, but more pizza reverse pizza for skating, I guess. Then I create friction and slow down. So I'm always looking for ways to do that with a subtle hop. I try to stay away from dragging my foot like a T-stop, just because it destroys wheels. And these wheels, especially that I'm on right now, are really expensive. And I'm not racing, so I don't want to ask Powerslide to keep sending me wheels just because I'm destroying them by urban skating or trying to stop fast. So I'm gonna try to take it real light on these, pay attention to the lights, and not have to do any kind of aggressive skidding or sliding to slow myself down. Just take the less sexy way maybe and round it out onto the sidewalk. All right, here we go. Being a good pedestrian. I guess it can't be considered a pedestrian if you're on skates, but being a good non-driver, traveler, transient, I don't know what the word would be for it. Following the rules of the lights and the roads. So as I was mentioning, when your foot is traveling at an angle that's open from your center of mass or your center line, traveling away like this, pointed out, you'll get acceleration. There are some exceptions to that rule and kind of some prerequisites, so things that are required for that to work for both ways, to slow down and to speed up. You have to stay kind of connected to the skate, meaning you're watching from the side. If I just let my skate flow backwards and I'm opening and pushing out and away from my center line, nothing really happens. I have to feel like I'm driving that skate with me as I'm skating. So I'm using my core, glutes, to hold that skate with my center of mass. Center of mass, you can think of like your belly button, but as that's traveling and accelerating, I can't get lazy and just let that come past my skate like this. I have to drive the skate as I'm making the motion. And that's what really gives you the magic of being able to double push or make any of these motions work for acceleration, deceleration. If I just put my feet in, but I don't put any pressure against that, I'll probably fall over the front. So there has to be that connection there to the skate. I don't have a good term for that. If you watch my double push tutorial, I guess the compression of the wheels is kind of, that's what I'm trying to get you to do when you're double pushing, is connect to the skate that way by thinking about squishing your wheels down. So that could be a cue you can use if you want to try that yourself, but essentially, feet traveling away from the center line, wherever you're heading, equals acceleration, and feet heading into the center line, like this, deceleration. So once you get more and more comfortable on your skates, more balanced, you can do different styles of that, little hops. You can do kind of some chicane skating, meaning right foot's coming in, left foot's coming in, right foot's coming in. You're just putting pressure back and forth and slowing yourself down that way. But that's the gist of it. More so that I'm watching the road and always kind of having a contingency plan in my head of where I'm gonna go if things get a little risky. And there's not always a good one. Sometimes I'm just skating through areas that have nowhere to go, and I just keep my fingers crossed that it's not gonna suck and I'm not gonna get hurt. And that, for me, that's what makes this style of skating a bit more fun, is that risk. But yeah, the more comfortable you are in your skates, the less you'll have to think about the act of skating, the more attention you can spend on what's going on in the environment. And that's essentially what I think makes me comfortable skating in situations like this, where I can look back, look forward, hop over. Been on my skates 30 years, over 30 years now for inlines. Took a small hiatus with ice, but I mean, generally, I grew up on wheels. And so I just have it kind of baked into my cognitive function of movement, that when I want to go do something on skates, it just kind of happens with wheels. Definitely not the case with ice skating, but for sure with inline skating, just growing up on skates, doing a lot of agility drills with Renee Hildebrand, and skating a lot of public skating sessions where I'm just weaving in and out of people, jumping off walls, doing stuff like that. You just get a good feel for the skates. I am skating into an obnoxious headwind. I don't know if you can hear it or not in the mic, but it's blazing right now. Killing me. Super fun for me to do this kind of stuff. Go out and skate 30, 40 miles. Destination skates are probably my favorite. Picking an A to B and just going out, or an A to A, kind of out and back and just having a good time. Going to a track, skating a little bit, coming back, going to a skate park. I had my first experience in a skate park yesterday. Super interesting. I was so scared of the ramps, the feel. It's a really intriguing approach to think that you have to be relaxed to be good at it. So when you're on the ramps, for example, you're going up a bowl and it's going vertical and you're tensing up because you don't know what it's gonna feel like, what's gonna happen, you're not used to it. That's when things fall apart, you lose the flow, the ability to kind of flip around. It's the same thing with speed skating. When you're afraid of a turn or you don't know what's gonna happen and you tense up, you lose connection to your skates and things just get terrible. So I was able to make that connection pretty quick, but doing it, whole different story, obviously, when you're being asked to do something you're not comfortable with. So definitely helps me empathize with people that are learning speed skating a little bit more. These are things I knew, but it's nice to be reminded, humbled up a little bit every now and then, if you will. So you're not putting some crazy expectations on somebody trying to learn emotion for the first time, or even for the first year. Oftentimes, in my experience, the first season of learning a new concept is just familiarizing yourself with it. You might hit it every now and then, but you don't really get it. You don't really understand. And then the next season is when the big magic happens. At least that's how it was for me and a lot of my teammates that I was paying attention to. The more seasons you have with consistent thought process, ooh, a little wet, the better chance you have of getting some of these things to kind of stick in terms of technical changes, feeling better on your skates, or tactical changes, even same concept. I got lazy. I've been in the urban skates. Forgot I had to control my ankles again. I can feel everything just flopping. So I was told Formula One track is open today. We'll see. I don't really remember how to get in there. And it's really steep to kind of go in blind. So I don't know how to go about that right now. I'm still trying to figure out, do I go the shortcut way, essentially directly to the track, or the long way around? Long way around kind of winds around, has a small uphill so you can slow down if you need to, and I don't think there's any stopping as far as I know. All right, so coming up on that gate. So as I was talking about, handy skate traveling towards your center line like it is now, obviously slows you down. That's kind of the golden rule. All right, through the gate. Not too bad. Downhill all the way to the entrance of the Formula One, and then a really steep downhill, and then another steep downhill. So I'll probably take the long way into the track, and I'll go the short way out just to familiarize myself with it. So next time I come in, I can just cruise in. I'm pretty sure it's right-hand turns, and there's stop signs, so I believe it's somewhat safe to kind of go that way. We'll see. As long as there's a place to bail, I feel comfortable just bombing, basically going without braking. So yeah, here comes up and it splits off. You can see splits off left, right, and the left is really steep. And I don't really trust that I can not die without knowing what's going to be there waiting for me. So I'm going to take the long way around and yeah, go the safe route today. Get to race a Tesla real quick. I don't think this is a stop sign. Why are people stopping? People are driving like shit here, doing U-turns in the street. A little dangerous. So in this case right now where it's a steep downhill, I don't really have any options, right? I can't stop. I can't bail into the grass. There's really no grass. So if I really had to jump off the road to not die, I would just do that. Last ditch effort just to get off this path if something was in the way and I couldn't get through. And I didn't want to run into it, for example. I was probably going 24, 25 right there, I guess. Down a hill, nothing on the sides. So trying to be a little more cautious there. It's nice that there's 2 lanes, but there's no sidewalk and definitely no bike lane or anything. So try to skate in places where there's not a lot of car traffic when there's not other places to go. I don't like to hold cars up. I try to go faster than the flow of traffic. If I can, I get out of the way. And so try to be courteous that way because I hate when people are in the road doing stupid shit like I'm doing and holding me up in the car. So passing that courtesy forward as much as I can. Here's the uphill. So in the videos, I probably make it seem like I have a better plan than I really do. Just really, it's a bit luck, if I'm being completely honest. That you don't run into any issues. But yeah, if you do, you figure it out in the spot. Think on your feet, I guess. I don't know. My plan is to just cruise until somebody pretty fast comes by me, pop on the back of them, see what we got. There's a little pack right there cruising. All right. I think there's like a U-turn up here. I know exactly how this works. Yeah. All right. So there's the U-turn. These guys aren't going too fast. I think they're going into headwind now. Let's see if I can catch up to them. Maybe I can kind of ride or hop around until I catch them. Oh, they're not going fast at all. All right, they looked like they were cruising. They chilled out into the headwind. So the bike is gonna suffer a lot more from a headwind than skates. Just because of higher center of gravity, way more frontal area catching that wind. The obvious advantage of a bike is that you have gears. So if you're an ox, you can just push watts, overcome it. Best thing to do on skates is just to flatten your back to the ground and try not to create any frontal resistance or as little as possible. Bending your knees helps a little bit too, getting lower. All right, we got an e-bike here. Just gonna try to use some of these bikes to Gotta rest, take another jump up. Going about 21 right now, which doesn't feel super easy with the headwind. Oh, that's terrible. He knew what he was doing. He was on the bumpy part, so I couldn't get that draft. So the backside of the track today is obviously going to be the fun part. Sufferfest. Well, I don't know really what the front and back is, but to me, this is the front side with the water. They do crew there. Rolling Sports. There's a service road that goes next to it that you can ride on, and it's pretty cool. Hang on here for a second. So last time I was here, mostly fresh pavement, but some of it was still pretty shit. Now it's seems like the whole thing might be fresh. We just had the race here, so I assume the track's in its best condition. See if I can finally catch up to these guys up here. Cruising at 23 now. Try to get that back flat to the ground. I can already feel doing that. Think like Peter Michael, Shawnee Davis, and just try to reduce the amount of upright body parts you have. Obviously with the legs it's almost impossible there, but your upper body can basically be flat to the ground and you cut down a lot of resistance there. So cruising at 23 to headwind, shorts and t-shirt, just by basically dropping my body flat to the ground. All right. There we go. Caught up. They're just having a chat. Nothing hard. Probably rest here to the backside. Just coming up in a sec.
Yeah, exactly. Like, early, it's good. Yeah. But halfway there, it's coming like something, but.
So I think the outside lane here is for cars. This lane is for cyclists, runners, skaters. Now cruising at 26, downhill with a little tailwind. Need to learn the conversion for kilometers. Probably just put my watch in kilometers soon. Most of the world watching the metric system, so holding on, you know, the pride. Stupid system that doesn't make any sense. Oh, these wheels feel good on corners. I can see it now. Having that band in there. You know, pull through the hips, create a lot of speed. This guy's being cool, calling out barriers and stuff. That's nice. In my experience, usually it's pretty good. Never had angry cyclists. Heard about it a lot. Same like when people are just cruising, skating paths and trails. I hear a lot of people get pissed off about skaters being in the way and stuff. Make fun of them, call me. I never had that problem, but maybe I'm just not paying attention. All right, so we're back at the start now, almost. I might take a little stop and see if I can find a faster route to cruise the lap. Really never know what you're gonna get out here. My experience, been here a few times now, and there's like all levels, kids, basically you name it, it's probably here. Really no chance of them dropping me in a headwind unless they're just going insanely fast. But I'm doing nothing at 25, basically just moving my feet, and they're pushing. You can see, even in the drafts, if you look, you can see they're putting down some watts. So they might get me in the turns, but we'll see. A little acceleration. For sure, that would be the worst part. If they accelerate hard, I'm in trouble. I think he was pissed. 27, bridging the gap. 3 shorts and a t-shirt. I'm hurting right now pretty good. Curious how long this interval is. Yeah, I'm hurting. Let's see what they got. Those little gaps and accelerations hurt a little bit. I'm not super fit for that kind of stuff, but if I skate really close, I can definitely keep up. I just don't want to piss them off or be dangerous. They're mashing them. It's a heavy headwind. They're going 25. Big pull throughs. The wheels definitely help. Last year on the NSC wheels, I could do this for a couple minutes. Wheels got mushy, and yeah, that was it. But the training wheels, these are race wheels. They're made for this kind of shit. They're kind of what do you expect, you know? They're gonna get me on this hill. Maybe I can get it back. Let's see. Oh no, they're done. Whew. That was our sprint. Nice. Oh yeah. That one stung. That one definitely stung. With a selfie stick. No spandex. Struggling. Definitely don't have a good feel for my consistent technique either, where things just kind of happen. I'm way too quad heavy, just pushing with my legs versus being in the hips. Using the body weight, that'll come back after a few weeks of skating a lot, but just finding these motions will be more natural.
Nice speed.
Thanks, man. I need to create some kind of magnetic thing where I can just stick it on a bike without them knowing. All right, I'm done. Maybe I'll go to the end here. Cruising, 26. Thanks, man.
No problem.
That's what makes it fun. Usually you can hop behind a TT bike and do that for 15, 20 minutes at least. If they don't accelerate it quite as hard up the hills, doesn't cost so much. Oh, that was a good lap though. That first lap put the sting in me. And when that guy got a little scared and fell off, that definitely put the sting in even more. I was hanging on for dear life there. Just mashing, not really feeling the flow of the skating, but yeah. Skating sloppy, just same concept as like pedaling squares on a bike where you're pushing hard but there's no real flow, no feel. Oh, hopefully it comes back. There we go, might be my guy next lap. A little survey here, hang out, and just see what we got here on the track right now. Any interesting prospects? Pack looks like it could be fun. The guy that doesn't like me is in there. I can see it on his face. I don't know if you can see it in the video. I'll try to zoom in. I do think, yeah, I'm gonna have to put on a skin suit and not carry a camera if I wanna average above 30 for a lap. All right, so I just got eyes on a guy who was cruising. Well, everything looks fast on this track. It's hard to tell, but it's on a TT bike, good technique as far as I can tell. Cruising along, so I'm gonna see what that's like. He's coming up here right now. I don't know if the course is open to vehicle traffic yet. Usually there's cars in this lane. It is a Sunday, so people are probably not commuting too much through here. I think it's a pretty big work commute area. All right, let's see. Oh, he's moving. I'm gonna struggle here. Definitely got some burn in the legs from the last go. Not gonna last long here. I can't lead. Too tired.
I just want to do my training alone.
What's that?
I just want to do my training alone.
Okay, sorry.
That's fine. You're pretty quick, eh?
Thank you. Enjoy. That's fair. there's definitely a draft effect when somebody's following you. So he asked me if I could not follow him. No problem. I was almost toast anyways. I think he was asking if I could lead. That was a no for me. Oh. Underestimated how tired I am from the week. But yeah, interesting what I learned about draft and long track with the TP and our strategy to have the same leader and just push. Testing this in the wind tunnel. I've been inside the specialized wind tunnel in California a couple times, and yeah, the effect that somebody behind you can have, how they can measure that in watts using the yaw, which is the drag coefficient, I believe. Maybe an engineer can correct me if I'm wrong there, but blow wind, get on a platform, and measure different scenarios. And then the platform that you're on has a sensor that will measure how much drag is being created from those situations, whether it be arm out to the side, person in front, changing groups, like dropping back, for example, having somebody behind you, being solo, your position. Pretty interesting stuff. Might try to find a little social group and do a couple laps and head home. It's already been 16 miles, I'm pretty toasted. Nice little tester for the first day back to this track. We got a little group coming. Could be interesting. Follow them in, cruising. Look like they're going fast, but it's hard to tell. Oh, never mind. See if I can pass them in the lane. Yeah, these wheels are definitely fun on the corners. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I have no ability to interval anymore. I gotta keep it nice and chill, medium to medium hard pace. Once it goes red zone, I'm so wrecked. No ability to be able to keep going, recover. Whew. Did 80K on the bike 2 days ago. Yesterday a marathon on the urban skates, and not a spring chicken anymore, so it's taking its toll here. But super fun to be back on my skates. Sergio from Powerslide is making me a boot. Really excited about that. See what all the hype's about. But really fun to be back on race wheels and enjoying that process. I think putting on soft, mushy wheels will definitely teach you a bit. So I think it's a good idea to experience it every now and then. But I think if you're always on really soft wheels that you're never racing on, you can create some pretty shitty habits. Obviously not what you want. Of just getting used to trying to do more than you really need to be efficient, because they don't roll, and once they heat up they get worse. So all right, awesome to be here. So fun. This video is going to be 45 minutes long. I'm at an hour and 4. I don't know what I'm gonna take out, but I've essentially been filming just about everything. If you're wondering about the audio, I have a mic on right here, Rode wireless GoPro. And yeah, it's working pretty good, I think. Last time I skated with it with the deadcat, which is that big furry thing on top that makes the wind noise go down, it sounded pretty good. I'm gonna go out this way and see what happens so I can scout that entrance. That's not too bad, I guess. Probably could have bailed there on the first right. Oh, that is brutal. That's like 20%, close to it. On skates, that's just gnarly. Oh, like I was saying, I hate holding up cars. It is a Sunday, not a lot of traffic, and the bikes are already in the way anyway, so it's not too bad. So I'm trying to keep going. Oh, it's right there. Closer than I thought. Oh, yeah. Insult to injury. At the end of a hard skate. Got my phone poking out the bottom here. Oh, there's no real great way to skate up hills like this that are this steep. Some hills that are skatable can actually teach you how to maneuver your double push a bit better because it doesn't happen as naturally. It forces you to whip and be in control of the edges. Otherwise, you just don't go anywhere. So a slight uphill, I think, is good for learning how to connect those pieces. That shit's way too steep. That doesn't create any good habits. That just hurts. That's just for solo grinding, getting through your hips, glutes, but definitely won't make you skate any better technically. Well, probably gonna end the video about here. It's gonna be a pretty boring skate back. I've already been blabbing the whole damn time anyway, so I'm gonna cut half of that out. Not much more to say, but that was a fun skate. Got the first laps in for the year. Didn't do too much at the track, but I'm at almost 19 miles of skating now from the house. Probably got 5 or 6 more to go home, at least. And yeah, so another just shy of a marathon, but you can't really call it a marathon. I'm not consistently skating. However, it was nice to get out there and feel some speed a little bit behind bikes and get that rolling. So looking forward to getting out on a training day. Maybe convincing somebody to mount a camera on the bike so I don't got to carry the damn thing, and then have a good time cruising. This is way funner skating through traffic when you're hauling ass. I feel like a chump right now. Carrying my little camera, going 11 miles an hour.